In today's video, I'm going to be decluttering my home office with the intention of manifesting a whole bunch of money. No, I'm not going to be sharing with you guys a new app that helps you sell things around your house that you're not using. Instead, I want to share with you a formula that I've used in the past that I intend to use again to help me successfully manifest abundance in my life. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. If this is your first time with me, I would like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells productivity tools, strategies, and skills to help you manifest success with less stress. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave some links down below in the description box where you can check out more of my work online, and feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. Okay, so first of all, I'm sure there are some of you who are curious to know where I've been because this is my first video in the past few weeks. And if you are interested in knowing about that, I did write a blog post about it, so I will leave you a link down below so that we can focus today on the topic of today's video, which is manifesting abundance by decluttering your home. In my example, it's going to be my home office. Now, you may remember that I did that KonMari project planning video earlier this year. And, the whole Maria Kondo KonMari phenomenon has really swept in and taken 2019 by storm. There are so many people who are kind of on the declutter kick and have been doing a lot of different videos about decluttering and organizing your home. And just a word of caution, this is not going to be one of those videos. I'm definitely not the kind of person who can film and edit and upload a whole declutter. And I definitely am not the best at home organization per se. But I do hope that today's video is actually going to be more valuable to you than watching me declutter my own home office, because I'm hoping it gives you some serious inspiration to actually take action yourself, and also gives you a formula, roadmap, guide to actually using that declutter, whatever you're going to be decluttering in your life, to actually help you manifest abundance in whatever form you are looking for. So I talked about this a little bit in my KonMari video, but I think that decluttering is actually very good energetically. I think that there are a few things that actually come from decluttering that are absolutely powerful in your life that I think you really need to be clear on even before you get into a declutter session. Decluttering is great because energetically it forces us to decide what we want and what we don't want in our lives, right? So we're literally going through our house, our rooms, whatever, picking things up, deciding, do I want this in my life? Do I not want this in my life? And that itself, that deciding that we want something or don't want something in our lives, is a really powerful thing to do because most of us don't go around making those decisions. So many of us live in homes and really live in lives that are surrounded by things that we've actually had for a long time, although we may go out and buy new things or dispose of old things as they, break or, fall into disuse. Most of us aren't going around every day and saying to our desk or our chairs or our computers, I choose you, right? I want you here, right? So having that opportunity to go through your space and deciding what you want and what you don't want is very powerful. Number two, decluttering also helps us to get into alignment with the vision that we have for our lives. Again, this isn't something that most people do on a regular basis, but I don't know if you've ever done a declutter or even just cleaning up your home, but when you go through and declutter a space, I tend to think while I'm doing my declutter, even though I'm deciding what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep, in the back of my head, I am creating a vision at the same time of what I want this space to look like when it's done, what I might want to add to a space to help it increase functionality or to help it come into alignment with that ideal vision. And oftentimes, I'll be definitely someone who'll be cleaning my house, and maybe I'll be cleaning my living room and then thinking about all of the parties or get-togethers or things that I'll be doing and being able to do in that room now that it's more organized and clean. So definitely this whole declutter process, no matter what you're decluttering, is going to help you to come into alignment with that vision where you're really having the opportunity while you're cleaning to like vision and imagine how you're going to be using the space and the life you're going to be able to live and the way you're going to feel living in that new space, which is very powerful energetically. And then third, decluttering also helps us to actually make a space in our lives for more abundance to come in. I can't remember who it was that said it, but the universe abhors a vacuum. So when you clear out possessions that you've been hanging on to and dispose of them properly, either by donating some things or selling things that might be of higher value or recycling anything that's left over. When you actually go through that process, you end up tipping an energetic scale that now needs to find balance. Now, this isn't just something that I've made up. This is actually a very prevalent idea and one that I was reminded of earlier this year when I read the book Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas. I'll leave the link to the book down below in case you want to check it out. But if you're not familiar with Denise Duffield Thomas, she is a money mindset mentor, and it's her job and really her business to help people take down money blocks so that they can manifest abundance in their life, and she's really good at it. I realize that some of you watching this video might think this concept is a little woo-woo or a little bit of wishful thinking, but there's actually significant science behind the idea that our brains are actually programmed to have a certain relationship with money based on our past experiences. It all comes down to our neural net, which is basically the brain system that has been developed through our life experiences with neurons and synapses. It's actually like a roadmap to our brains that's actually created throughout our lives. And our relationship with money comes from past beliefs, past experiences that we've had with money that then end up causing us to relive the past over and over because our brain is always living in the past with our neural net. It's always telling us to do the things that we've done before that we're familiar with. So literally, our brains are programmed to have a certain relationship with money, and unless you actually take action on changing that map or blueprint of your brain and the way that it wants to interact with money, then you're always going to have the same relationship with money, with abundance that you've always had. You might be familiar with the concept people sometimes talk about. Rich people will always find a way to be rich. Poor people will always find a way to be poor. And this actually speaks to the science of the neural net and the idea that the way we've been programmed to interact with money from childhood onward is literally the pattern that we're going to play out for the rest of our life, again, unless we take action to change it. So how do we then change our neural programming from childhood so that we have a better relationship with money and then therefore are able to more easily manifest it and allow in abundance? Well, in her book, Denise Duffield Thomas actually walks through a 5-step manifestation formula that I want to share with you. So really briefly, let's just cover the 5 steps. Step 1 is to declutter everything in your life. Step 2 is to decide exactly what you want. Step 3 is to surround your life with positivity. Step 4 is to take inspired action. And step 5 is to receive and fine tune. So when I read that formula, I actually immediately remembered that I had used this formula in the past inadvertently, kind of not knowing what I was doing, to manifest some significant abundance in my life in the past. Like I said in the intro, this formula is something that, although I would say that I'm now more recently familiar with the formal structure of the formula, it's something that I've used in the past, again, like accidentally, inadvertently, to manifest abundance. And that was back in November of 2016. I actually undertook this whole like declutter of my home office, and it really helped me to actually kickstart an entire period of abundance in my business and life. Immediately after I did that declutter, I went through a period of like record sales for my business for like a number of months while putting in like very little effort. It was actually, if you guys go back in my channel, you'll maybe see that I took like a break in January of 2017. And that was during this entire process because I was seeing that like I didn't have to do anything to be manifesting sales and money coming into my business. It was actually very eye-opening and really motivational for me. And on top of the business success and abundance, a lot of new people and opportunities also came into my life at that time. It was really a situation where I began to feel like I was like a little bit magic or like a superhero with magic powers, because I started getting like everything that I asked for, and every new little win, every new thing that I received really just reinforced my ability and kind of continued me on like this spiral of manifestation and abundance and success. I really missed that period of time actually, because it really made me feel like very powerful, like a superhero, or like I was magic, or just like the luckiest person on earth. And I realized that even just saying this out loud, that I have the ability to tap into that feeling and that energy again. But for so many people, myself included, it's hard to get ourselves energetically to a place where we are feeling a certain way without going through a bunch of steps. It's really hard to go from one energetic state to another without taking some form of action, which is why action is a part of this formula and is often very required in the process of manifestation. Because like right now, for example, I might be feeling like lazy and uninspired and just like things are stagnant. And to expect me to just jump and tap back into that energy so quickly without taking action is probably a little bit unrealistic, which is why I want to go ahead and do this declutter and restart this manifestation formula. Because for people, humans like me and you, it's very easy for us to actually follow a process to reach a goal, as opposed to just kind of jumping to the result of the goal, if that makes sense. Although I would love to just jump to the result of the abundance and feel that way, I know that I have been so far removed from that feeling at this point that I really just need to do something as a catalyst, like the declutter of my home office, to help me jumpstart that feeling and to help me begin that manifestation cycle again. So that is my intention with this declutter of my home office. And I hope that any of you who might be inspired hearing me talk about this also consider using this formula, using this idea to help you jumpstart a period of manifestation success for yourself as well. So really quickly, let me just run you through those 5 steps and what I'm going to be doing, more or less exactly, so that you guys can follow along if you're interested. So step 1 of the manifestation formula was to do the declutter of your entire life. Now, as I said, I'm just going to be decluttering my home office because I really don't believe that you need to be doing everything in your life before you move on to the other steps, right? And I'm sure that if I could talk to Denise Duffield-Thomas, she would probably agree with me to just start with what you can work on now, with what seems like the most important. So because I'm feeling like I've been out of the loop with my business for a while, I am starting with my home office because, number 1, I did that in the past and I had really good results for my business. But 2, this is the area of my life that I feel like I want to have the jump start in. So I don't feel like you have to have every single thing in your life organized in order to get started on step 2 and move forward step 3 and so on. I think that it's possible to start with one area of your life that's, for me, this is very contained to my home office. It's very specific. And then move through the formula that way, even though, yes, I would absolutely love to be able to, eventually, later on work on other areas of my home that might also need some attention. But for now, I want to do my home office first. Then step 2, I need to decide exactly what it is that I want. So like through the declutter process, there's going to be a lot of deciding, but I think overall this step really speaks to deciding what it is that you want to specifically manifest, whether that be like a certain amount of money, opportunities, etc., right? Abundance can come in so many different ways. It doesn't just have to be money. And so I'm going to have to give some thought as to exactly what I want to manifest for myself. Like that could be something like a specific amount of money, like I said, or it could be completing certain projects that I might want to get done for my business. Or it could be something like, I want to manifest a book deal, It could really come in any different form. So it's really good that you get clear on what your result is because, again, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, in step 5, the form doesn't matter as much as the result does. So I need to get clear on what result it is that I want to see. After that, step 3 is to surround your life with positivity. And I would like to say that I'm probably already pretty good at this, right? But I actually feel like maybe because I feel like this is going to be a foregone conclusion, like, oh, that's an easy step, I feel like I might need to actually reevaluate it more. I don't know about you, but anytime I feel like I know I've got something in the bag, I probably don't. So feeling that way, like, okay, positivity is easy, I'm probably going to have to reevaluate what positivity is going to mean for me and like what that needs to look like. So that's going to be part of the step 3 is either, deciding on some inspiration. Usually I'm so good about, keeping positive in my own mindset and, using things like quotes and other inspiration like books or videos or whatnot to keep me on track and keep me positive. I think it's worth it for me if I really do want to manifest this abundance to take some time to reevaluate how I could be bringing positivity to my life in a way that I might not be right now. Then, as we said, step 4 is to take inspired action. Now, the important thing about step 4, which is really important that I'd like to share with you guys, is that when it comes to taking inspired action, the idea is that I think when we have this goal in mind, this intention in mind, it reminds me a lot about my project planning processes, right? Where we kind of set a goal and we map out what we think we need to do in order to get the end result. And many times in life, the thing that we think we need to do isn't necessarily the thing or the best way to get us to what we want. And so the idea with taking inspired action is that you are going to take action on what feels good to you, like what feels like the right thing to do. Or for me, I oftentimes like to look around the world for signs, and I will look for signs as to what I'm supposed to be doing. But most importantly is the idea that whatever action you take needs to feel good to you. Like it needs to feel like you're living in that positivity and living in that abundance, because no matter what you're actually doing, if you're getting the feeling of the abundance and feeling successful, that means you are going to be successful. And now that leads us to step 5, which is to receive and fine tune. And so you might be thinking that step 5, that sounds like the easiest step in this process. But actually, I would venture to say that this is probably the hardest thing for people to do, to actually receive the abundance. And the reason is that abundance really is all around us all the time. But so many of us get caught up in the form of what the abundance is supposed to look like that we end up blocking the opportunities for abundance to come in because it's not packaged the way we expect. So let's say, for example, that you set the goal that you want specifically to bring in $1,000, right? In like the next 30 days, like an extra $1,000. You might be thinking, oh yeah, it'd be great if I could just like get a check or cash or money order just sent to me, right? And if we did get the cash or check or money order, we'd be like, oh yes, that's my manifestation coming to fruition. Yes, absolutely, I did it. And we'd feel like we've really won. But it doesn't happen that way. Usually, the universe doesn't write checks. So usually what ends up happening is that money would come in to your business or your life, whatever, in a different way. It could be something like you get a raise at work, right? Which would then be the $1,000 or more that you were looking for. Or perhaps maybe you're involved in some sort of legal case and you get a positive financial settlement that covers that $1,000 or more. You might not immediately tie that back to your manifestation because a lot of times humans have this ability to think that, oh, well, that was something that was already coming to me. Like that was something that was already existing. I already earned my raise. I already earned or deserved that settlement because of something that happened to me. And this is a very dangerous mindset to get into when you feel like things are owed to you or that things are already a foregone conclusion and that whatever abundance comes out of that or results from that isn't tied back from the positive work that you've been doing manifesting. It's important for us to remember that nothing is owed to us in our life and nothing is guaranteed. This is a fact we only seem to remember when bad things happen. But if we're going to use that to rationalize bad things in life, we should also use it to explain good things as well. So that's why the receiving portion of manifestation is often the hardest, because if it doesn't come packaged the way we think it should be or the way we expect, we often block it or discount it, which is a very dangerous scenario to get in because it's going to stop more abundance from coming in. Now, the best way to counteract this situation is with gratitude and through the regular practice of gratitude, really taking time to be thankful and to feel thankful for all of the abundance and opportunities that come into your life, no matter what form they take. So I would definitely, again, I've talked about this before, but I would recommend something like gratitude journaling because it is a very tangible way that we can practice gratitude, that we can track and keep ourselves accountable to. And actually, to go along with this, if you're someone who's looking to a gratitude journal, one of my very good friends, Kelsey Chapman, just came out with this radiant journal. You guys may remember her. She was on my channel last year. I think we did a video together, and she has put together this really great gratitude journal that's very simple and straightforward, very cute, nice little hardbound book with, you know, a little tassel here to be a page marker. If you guys are interested in this, I think it came at perfect timing for this video. I'm going to leave it linked down below if you want to check it out and support Kelsey. I also think that she has a free download for the worksheets in here if you're interested in testing them out to see if this is the right gratitude journal for you. I will be sure to get that link from her and leave it all down below in the description box if you are interested. And of course, with that whole fine-tuning idea with your manifestations, if you feel like through the process you didn't get exactly what you wanted, it's always a good idea to fine-tune and decide where you maybe have opportunities to grow, to allow more abundance into your life. So that would be the opportunity to review, you know, the process that you took and the steps and really figure out if there's something that you might want to try differently in the future and see how it goes with bringing in your abundance. So that is the formula. That is the process I'm going to be taking. And yeah, I am excited to get started. I'll go ahead and insert some before and after footage here so that you guys can see the progress that's made. And if you're interested in getting a follow-up video from me on the progress and what manifests for me during this period of time, definitely give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below and let me know if you'd like that video. And I will consider filming an update for you as well once the manifestation and abundance starts rolling in. Okay, so instead of doing a whole nother video dedicated to the outcome of the money manifestations that happened, I thought I would add this little addendum into the video now. So it has been over a week since the day that I did the whole home office declutter. It has been 10 days. And guess what? Money started manifesting on day one. I know, right? Okay, so let me just run through a few different ways that I started receiving more money into my life ever since I did this whole home office, you know, cleanup project. Okay, so on day one, the first thing I have to mention, just because it's funny, is that I found probably a few dollars in change in my office while I was cleaning, okay? So that was the first sign, right? We would say that money was incoming. I found like random change places. So that was pretty funny, cool. It was just like a really cool sign. Well, that is not where the money manifestation even ended for day one of the cleanup. That same day that I actually did the whole cleanup, I can't remember the exact hours in which I was working on the project. It only took me like a few hours. But at some point later on in the day, I actually got an influx of money into my shop on that specific day. So I actually made a whole bunch of money in the shop randomly on that day one, which was very odd for me because it was a Monday and Mondays tend to be a slower day in my shop. But I had made on Monday, I'm not even joking with you on this one. And I don't want to talk about exact figures. I want to give you numbers in terms of like how relative they are, right? So on that day, I had made more money on that day than I had for the entire month so far. So I had an amazing day in my shop out of the blue. Like I wasn't running a sale, a special, anything like that. It was really random. So that was sign number one that money was coming in. Now, over the next few days and the last, 10 days really for me, I would say that one of the big things that happened that immediately after I organized my office, I really felt a renewed sense of like clarity and passion to get some projects done. And I was actually able to, in like 2 days, get a project completely done, a sales funnel for a product of mine, within 2 days, finish that project off. It went live. And ever since that has gone live, that has been trickling in new sales, new income in from my shop. So that has been another amazing manifestation of money. And again, you could say, you could argue, I totally get it, that Alexis, well, you did some work and the work resulted in you making money for your business. I totally get it, right? But I also know that that cleanup really helped to reinvigorate and re-inspire me. I didn't expect that that was going to happen, right? Like I didn't know that was what was going to happen. And actually, since the day of that cleanup, I don't know what it is, I have been really focused in my business for whatever reason. So you could say it's placebo effect. I don't care. Like I really don't care what we think is going on that is manifesting more money. I'm just happy that it's coming in and that I've been able to really add like another income stream into my business that I've been dilly-dallying on. So yeah, so far, so good. I would definitely say that this is probably more than I expected, faster than I expected, but that's the great thing about this sort of manifestation. You make room in your life, right? All of a sudden you are jump-starting some area of your life, and this definitely worked for me. So, I mean, I obviously was someone who went into this whole process hoping for this, right? Like with the expectation that something like this would happen, but I had no clue what exactly it was going to manifest. So that is what has manifested for me so far. And I am absolutely very happy about these results. And I just want to say thank you to all of you as well, because I feel like, honestly, if it wasn't for me feeling the need to like document this for a video, I may not have actually ever done the cleanup, or not as quickly as I was able to, right? Because I felt like I had a sense of accountability with you watching as well. So I do want to thank you guys for being here, for being part of my community, supporting me, watching these videos, because I feel like that energy, although I'm filming this right now and you guys haven't even seen this video yet, like energy time travels, you guys, right? Like I feel like I already am receiving back the energy from you guys. I know that sounds a little crazy, a little woo-woo, but that's what I believe. And so if you want to have some really great money manifestation results, I highly recommend going through a process like this. And I do hope that this video has been helpful and inspiring to you. And I'm definitely sending you all the good vibes as well. So yeah, definitely try it. I'm really thrilled with the results. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.